Humans have encountered countless mythical creatures for centuries, but did they actually exist? Or were they just part of ancient folklore? Watch this video till the end to find out. This is part 2 in the series. The first one on our list is the giant serpent. For many centuries, giant serpents have been shown in many stories, from Jormungandr in Norse mythology to Vasuki in Hindu mythology. But these monsters weren't just made-up stories, they were actually real. Scientists have found fossils of giant snake known as Titanoboa. These monsters were the largest species of snakes ever known, estimated to be around 13 meters long, and weighed over a ton. They dominated the rainforests of South America and were believed to crush animals' bones by wrapping around them. Some believe they still exist in the swamps of the Amazon rainforest. Number 4. Dragons. Dragons are legendary creatures typically described as large serpents with magical powers. In Eastern cultures, they are usually described as wingless, four-legged creatures with high intelligence. The first dragon myth appears in Sumerian legends of the godmother Tiamat, who transforms herself into a legged horned serpent. But these are just stories. The real concept of dragons likely came from creatures lived on Earth millions of years ago, known as Quetzalcoatlus. Quetzalcoatlus is a genus of Ajdarchid pterosaur that lived during the Maastrichtian Age of the Late Cretaceous in North America. It is estimated to have stood as tall as a giraffe, reaching a height of 18 feet with a wingspan of up to 40 feet. But later, its species extinct due to impact of a large asteroid that struck the Earth. The next one on our list is Chupa Cabra. The Chupa Cabra, a legendary creature in folklore, particularly known in parts of the Americas. It's a terrifying, blood-hungry creature. The Chupa Cabra appeared in 1995 in Puerto Rico, when about 1,000 sheep were found dead with same way, with 2 holes in their neck. Locals named the killer Chupa Cabra, which means goat sucker in Spanish. Witnesses describe creature as kangaroo-like reptile with red eyes and spines along its back, while others describe the creature as dog-like creature with mange, a skin disease caused by mites, which can lead to hair loss and a scaly appearance. The sightings of a creature spread throughout Latin America and southern United States with similar reports of livestock killings. The Chupa Cabra has become a pop culture legend, showing up in movies, shows, and stories told around campfires. But is it actually real? Some people think so. They believe it could be a species we haven't discovered yet, something out there in the dark, hiding in the shadows. The third one on our list is Hydra. Hydra is the monster that Hercules fought, that terrifying monster with many heads. At first it sounds impossible, but here's the surprise: it actually exists. But here's the scarier part. In ancient Greek stories, the Hydra wasn't just dangerous, it was nearly impossible to kill. Cut off one of its heads and 2 more would grow back. Its blood was poison, its breath could kill. No matter what anyone did, the Hydra kept coming. That's what made it truly terrifying. But Hercules defeated this beast during famous 12 labors, making it one of the greatest stories ever told. But here's the twist. The real-life Hydra exists in the modern world. It's not big like in ancient stories, but here's the scary part. Scientists have found that this little organism can regrow its entire body from just a few cells. It doesn't age. It doesn't die of old age. Some even call it biologically immortal. So maybe the Hydra wasn't just a myth. Next are skinwalkers. Skinwalkers are mythical shape-shifting creatures that appear in Navajo folklore. According to the Navajo tribe, the skinwalkers are witches that can transform into any creature. They are believed to inhabit the American Southwest, particularly around the Navajo Nation in Arizona and New Mexico. Initial skinwalker reports in the United States started in 1966, where people claimed to see shape-shifting creatures in the forest. However, there is no direct scientific evidence of the existence of shape-shifting creatures like skinwalkers. The next one on our list is Kraken. The stories of the Kraken date back to the 12th century. Sailors used to tell terrifying stories about seeing giant monsters that looked like squids in the water. They said the creatures attacked ships and pulled them underwater. Sailors believed it had long, powerful arms capable of grabbing whales or smashing large ships into pieces. But back then, people didn't know that giant squids were real animals. So when they spotted something strange in the deep ocean, they called it a sea monster. The first recorded report of the Kraken dates back to 1853, when a massive sea creature washed up on the beaches of Denmark. It bore a striking resemblance to the Kraken. The largest squid ever found measures about 43 feet long. So was the Kraken just a myth? Well, we still know very little about what lives in the ocean. Considering that giants like Megalodon and Titanoboa once existed, there's a chance that ancient stories might be rooted in something terrifyingly real. The last one on our list is Leviathan. Leviathan wasn't just a myth. It's actually mentioned in the Bible as a terrifying sea monster. What's even more interesting is that it appeared in stories of monsters all over the world. Ancient Greeks spoke about giant sea snakes with incredibly long necks, while in Asia and across the Pacific Ocean, sailors told stories of giant monsters moving through the waters. These people lived thousands of miles apart but described the same creatures. That's probably not a coincidence. Around 60 million years ago, there really was a sea creature that fit all these descriptions. It was called Titanoboa. Like we discussed earlier in the video, it could reach lengths of over 40 feet and lived in warm waters. Some believe it's still out there. In 1959, a picture of a massive snake was taken by Belgian Air Force Colonel Remy van Lierde. He claimed to have seen a snake approximately 50 feet long while piloting a helicopter and photographed it. The picture you're seeing on the screen is photograph taken by Remy van Lierde from helicopter. Some believe it could be evidence of a previously unknown species of giant snake, possibly related to the prehistoric Titanoboa. So maybe Leviathan wasn't just a made-up monster. Maybe it was inspired by a real creature, and maybe something just as terrifying is still living out there, but it's not the only one. There are 5 more terrifying creatures you've never heard of that might have actually existed. Click on this video to watch the first part of the series and subscribe to the channel to find out more about which mythical creatures were actually based on truth.